Well, to break this down a bit more with me, let's bring in our chief foreign editor, Rob Parsons, who's with me on the set. Rob, the first stop for Antony Blinken is Kenya, and security is really going to be a big issue there, particularly in regards to talking about Ethiopia and Sudan.
Yeah, well, this is a big trip for Antony Blinken. His first trip to Africa. It was meant to take place in August, then Afghanistan put it off. There is growing concern about the situation in Africa because of a slew of coups around the continent. And now this situation in Ethiopia. This makes Kenya even more important, Kenya being a close neighbour of Ethiopia and a major regional player for the United States, not just with Ethiopia, but Sudan, and as we've seen in recent years, Somalia as well, with numerous terrorist strikes from Somalia into Kenya, which has been helping the United States in its efforts against terrorism in Somalia. But at the moment, the main preoccupation almost certainly is going to be what is happening in Ethiopia. Antony Blinken himself has said he's very concerned about the potential for Ethiopia to implode. And that is the big issue. This is the second biggest country on the continent of Africa, Ethiopia. If it breaks up and it's made up of myriad different ethnic groups, the implications for the region could be absolutely colossal. This has been a country that's been growing faster than any other country in Africa. If it breaks up like that, it's going to be devastating for Africa. And so that is why he is trying to cooperate, not just with the Kenyan government to try and keep things back on track in Ethiopia, with the African Union as well. And it's interesting that Molly Fee, the US Africa Secretary, coming from Khartoum, where there is another problem there with the Sudanese authorities, is coming to Nairobi to take part in these talks between Uhuru Kenyatta and Antony Blinken.
Right, Antony Blinken, right, U.S. Secretary of State for Joe Biden. He's moving on next to Nigeria, where he's due to give a big speech. What can we expect from that?
Yeah, I mean, difficult at this stage to really predict closely what he's likely to say, but there are obviously a number of issues, not least the one of democracies. I just referred to those coup d'etats that have been taking place across Africa over the last year. We've seen Mali, Chad, Guinea and Sudan, and attempted coup d'etats in other countries as well. It's interesting what Antony Blinken's approach is going to be, though, because he has said himself that the US is hardly immune, as he put it, from this challenge on democracy. We've seen how fragile our own democracy can be. So he's coming, from quite a modest position. He's not going to Africa to say, look, we're going to tell you how to do it. You've been making all these mistakes, coup d'etats everywhere. He's saying, look, we understand the problems. This is about checks and balances and making sure that democracy has a chance. He will be coming to Nigeria from Kenya, where there are elections next year. In 2017, they were very violent. Nigeria has had its own problems with elections as well. So, I think he's trying to give an encouragement to it, and also to create a counterpoint, in particular to China. The United States is lagging way behind when it comes to developing relations with China, particularly trade. If you look at 2020, for instance, Chinese trade went up with the continent of Africa by 40% to 140 billion US dollars. US trade from January to July that same year fell. And is only 12.7 billion US dollars, way behind that of China. So how can the US hope to compete on the continent when in trading terms it's falling so far behind? I'm sure this is an issue he's going to want to address.
Rob, thanks for that. France 24's Rob Parsons.